Well, I want to start out with just how you are handling everything, how you are feeling now.
I am feeling okay. I feel like everything that's come to light has been for the benefit of everyone, as viewers, not just me, but supporters and stuff. Because, people want to watch the show they can be proud of. So I think that was really good that this has come to light and that Bravo went in the direction it went in.
Definitely. Were you surprised, like kind of when you spoke out about this a few days ago, did you have any idea the impact that it would have?
No. And that's why I encourage people to speak up, because this hurt me a lot 2 years ago. Let me tell you, I was in a really bad space 2 years ago, and because of this. And it just gives me hope that what's happening now and the consequences of their actions are being brought to light. It just gives me hope in that our America is moving forward in a positive direction, and that Bravo stands behind that and wants to be on the right side of history. And so does NBC, and so does Universal, and so does Lisa. So I think that means more to me than anything, because I have a son and I want him to grow up in a world that can be beneficial to him and positive for him.
Yeah, absolutely. This is obviously such a big movement that's happening right now. So any voices that are speaking out, it's incredible for them. And like you said, you have a little one to teach the ways as well.
Yes.
Have you spoken to anyone from Bravo? Like, have any of your former co-stars reached out?
Yes. Lola Kent reached out to me a little while ago, actually right before this all happened. It was like crazy right before it happened, and then when after it happened. So she has told me she was sorry I had to go through this, and told me that she wanted to start over for a clean slate. And I said, yes, I would love to do that as well, because I actually know her and was friends with her, so that makes sense. Mm-hmm. After that, no one else reached out after the incident. No, it was just her. But it was, it's good to see the Bravo still do that. Lisa still make her statement as well. Absolutely. Even though they didn't reach out, it was nice to see them acknowledge it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, they did make a move pretty quickly, so that's, a good sign in today's climate, especially. Obviously, a lot of people on social media are hoping that other moves are made and that other people are also found responsible for their actions. Do you agree with that?
I just think it's not fair to have two people who are very big on their platform and benefit from their platform go through something like this for their benefit and everyone else's benefit, because they're benefiting by being able to take time to themselves and learn, educate themselves. I think there are other people that should be educated as well, because they've made some pretty crazy mistakes and said some pretty, not even mistakes, but just said some terrible things. And I didn't even know to the depth of the crazy things that they were saying until I got DMs from other shows, from other females on the show saying that Mr. Taylor had said some crazy things to them that were racial. So I think he gets a pat on the back a lot. But I think that if they're going to do it for two people, they should do it for some other people as well.
Yeah, and I mean, it could just be the start. We don't really know right now. I mean,
we don't know.
Yeah,
exactly. You're right.
Would you go back on the show if they asked you to come back? Because obviously you've spoken out about this before, that you were the only person of color in the cast at that point. Would that be something you'd be interested in doing?
Honestly, even if it's not me, I think that's the ultimate way of showcasing change is, putting your money where your mouth is. I would love to go on Vanderpump Rules. I don't have a problem with Vanderpump Rules. I don't have a problem with just Bravo in general. I think they're both amazing networks. I still to this day watch Real Housewives of Atlanta and Potomac and even Beverly Hills and Orange County. I love their shows. So I think it's really cool. I think I would love to join their cast again and be able to showcase my life to people, because I know people can relate to it. It's unfortunate that I didn't get to show my military career with Vanderpump Rules and my dating life, and I was hanging out with all these amazing people that I think people could have really related to me and my experiences. So to have me back on any platform on Bravo would be really cool. I would love that. I respect the network even more now.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, absolutely. You've obviously been on other reality shows as well in the past. Have you seen kind of an issue across the board in the way that people of color are treated versus white people?
Kind of, not necessarily. It was more for them. I feel like it was more of like a gender thing, but with women and men, that's a whole other story though. But I did notice after speaking out, I saw changes that MTV made right away. It was like a girl who won the challenge, won MTV's The Challenge, which is really hard to do, had a racial tweet about the Black Lives Matter movement that I'm sure she regrets. But I really admire how swiftly MTV and The Challenge moved on that. I think within like 2 days, they released a statement saying they were letting her go, before Bravo had even released a statement. So I thought that was really cool of MTV to do, and of Viacom to do. I think that they're already making those positive changes, and I'm glad to see that I feel like I created like this chain of events with reality TV, and they're all for positive changes. So I'm all for that, and I'll be willing to put myself in the line of fire anytime if something like this were to come from it.
For sure, absolutely. Was your family, did anyone in your personal life and your family like kind of push you to speak out about these kind of things, or was it just kind of, it came up and you thought now was a great time to talk about it?
Honestly, it came up on my live. I was just getting questions in my comments, and that people kept telling me to talk about it. I'm like, okay, I'll talk about it. But my family has been very supportive. I come from a proud family. They were the first Black family in Hartwell, Georgia to integrate an all-white school in that county. So they're really stand behind me on all my instances I've been in. And I have my Aunt Dawn, who's the only white person in my family. She's married to my uncle Spezio. Aunt Dawn, and she reached out and she just wanted to let me know a few days ago that I had her support, and she's been watching the shows. She keeps up with a lot of different stuff, and she wanted me to know that, that what I did was good. And she knew my mom and my dad. My mom died when I was a young girl. I was only 5, and my dad died when I was 18. But she knew my parents really, really well when I was just a little kid, and she wanted to let me know that I'm sure they're smiling down on me from heaven and being proud of me. And that to me just means the world. So
absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
How has it been reaction wise? I know a lot of people are very supportive. Have you been getting some negative comments as well? Have you just been kind of trying to field them?
I've been getting way more love than bad. So that's
great.
A positive thing. I mean, so much love. I'm so happy to see people on Reddit. Shout out to Reddit. Shout out to the fans of Vanderpump Rules that have been supportive. They are amazing because they really trained this whole thing forward. They were like sending the letters to Bravo and everyone, and they made their choice to do that because they want to be a part of a show they can be proud of. So I respect that, and I love them for that and having my back. As far as the hatred, it seems like if they've all come from no people of color. So I'm just like, you guys can't possibly understand what I went through. So I'm not going to look into that. I mean, I've been called the N-word and all types of disgusting things from fans of Stassi and fans of Kristen who adore them that can't watch them anymore. So they're really upset. So it just goes to show we have work to do if they're reaching out to me having racial slurs. I mean, hello, that's what this whole thing is about.
Yeah.
So I really don't pay any mind to that kind of stuff. I've been getting way more support than hatred. So
that's so amazing.
I feel like I did the right thing.
For sure, absolutely. There were some reports that there might be a police investigation into kind of everything that had happened with them. Have you heard anything about that?
No, I don't. I don't know why there would be a police investigation, because when we spoke to the police, they told me that that I didn't have anybody looking for me. It wasn't any warrants out. That the girl I thought was caught. So I don't know what the investigation would be. But if they do, I mean, let me know how I can help.
You're like, I'm just out here to help everybody.
Yes, I mean, I don't have any problem with LAPD.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
When was the last time you spoken to either of the girls?
Long time ago. I didn't even speak to them to begin with. It was like I only said hello to them. They introduced themselves, and that was it. So it was really weird that they came for me the hardest, because I didn't know them, they didn't know me. So Kristen reached out to me through a DM after being pressured to, and apologized. And then Jackie Schimmel with Bibles, I'm not going to say the other word because that's so sacrilegious, but it's a Bible podcast that she has, and she apologized as well through DM as well.
Amazing. Do you hope that, a lot of people are kind of thinking that maybe the show needs to kind of just start over with a whole new cast? Is that something that you think would be a good idea?
Yeah, Vanderpump Rules is awesome. I think they should have another cast on there and some relatable people. people that people can relate to, doesn't have any racial tweets in their past. Somebody that's going to help move the show forward. I was just talking to my friend Alfonso, my publicist, and we were talking, and we're like, man, like, Karamo from even the Fab Five, like he's a great person of color. He pushes that emotional growth and social justice. Like he brings us all together, and I love that about Karamo. And I think that would be cool to have somebody like him on the show.
Yeah.
Not necessarily him, but people like-minded like that want to see us all come together as opposed to, you know, tearing us apart. So I think that would be really cool for Vanderpump Rules to do, or any show on Bravo.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we know you'd be open to going back there. Would you want to do your own reality show if you could, since you have so much
yeah. I mean, if they only knew about my family, girl, if they only knew, my show would be insane. I think that would be a really cool idea. I think that they would be able to relate to me. I think I have a lot going on that I think that a lot of supporters that support me now would get more involved in and want to be a part of. Right now, I think my passion is in theatrics and acting. I'm a Pisces, so I'm all about the creative. So I love acting. And the people that I feel like that's been pushing this social injustice and having people come together from all walks of life, LGBTQ, Black, white, Asian, has been Ryan Murphy and Lee Daniels. And I think it would be so amazing to work with him and Leah Daniels, his sister, on projects, because I want to keep this going. I don't want this to be a one-time thing. I think this is something that we have to stay on top of. And with their projects, that's what they do. So, I mean, I would love to be a part of anything that involves that. And so wish me luck on that.
I do wish you luck. I don't think you need my luck, but I do, of course, wish you luck. My last question, obviously you are a new mom, but you are clearly sending a very strong message. What do you kind of hope to teach him from all of this after, you know, when he gets a little bit older?
I want to get emotional. I want to tell him to not be afraid to speak up. Because you never know what's going to come from that. And I would have never have guessed that this would have happened the way it did, because I was hurt. I was so hurt by what happened to me prior to this that I was almost afraid to talk about it. So never be afraid to speak up for your justice and what you believe in, and because you never know who else is going through it, and you could help others, and also to speak up for other people, because not everybody's going to be as strong as you. I want him to not be afraid to be a leader. And lead the charge on something like this, for the good of humanity, not just people of color, but for the good of everyone. And I want him to grow up in a world where he's not going to be racial profiled. I want him to grow up in a world that feels safe. And that's what all this is about. Not letting these little things just be swept under the rug. They need to be brought into the light so we can lead that out, because racism is a learned thing. And if it's brought out to the light as much as it is now, it's just going to keep going. So we can stop it. And that's the cool thing about living here in America. And we can all come together and stop that. And I think what we're doing now is exactly that. And that's really cool to me.
Absolutely. Faith, thank you so much for chatting. I really appreciate it.
Problem.
I give you so much credit for speaking out. So I really, really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you so much.